I have to say, I just love the fact that you have taken two of the oldest cultures in civilization, which is the Indian culture and the African culture, and brought them together for this EP.
I like to be ahead of time with certain things that I like to express creatively. So yeah, it was like a thought that I had early last year. Yeah, I caught onto AP early. There was a song that he did called Deadly, and I was like working heavy with Sidhu at the time, but then I saw the song Deadly, and I was like, this guy's going to be a superstar.
All right, a special guest straight from the UK. If you haven't heard this one, you're living under a rock. The great Nas, Steel Banglez, music composer, producer, and Sid Sriram have come together for an awesome track called Times. It's actually part of Steel Banglez' EP called One Day It Will All Make Sense. There's also a wonderful video out which I've just caught with the boys all in white, and it's really something you should go and check out on the Steel Banglez YouTube channel. And really this is massive because it's Mass Appeal, the record label. Banglez is in studio here with me. What's up, brother? Good to see you,
Hey,
man.
You too, man. How you doing?
Lovely.
Thank you for such a nice intro, by the way.
I have to say, I just love the fact that you have taken two of the oldest cultures in civilization, which is the Indian culture and the African culture, and brought them together for this EP. Is this something you've been thinking of for a while, or is it just you said it had to be done today and you got on the phone the next day?
I like to be ahead of time with certain things that I like to express creatively. So yeah, it was like a thought that I had early last year. So I wanted to do, maybe God put me in a position that I could do that. So that's why I did it, because I can.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. That's the kind of equity that you built over the sands of time, man. So, we had some West London boys in here a couple of weeks ago, which is Jay Sean and Hrishi K, because we were talking about Jay's a single which is just out called The Last Call. I believe you're an East London boy.
Yeah, I'm from East London still. Do you know what's crazy? I sampled Jay and Hrishi on Mera Na, the record, Sidhu Moose Wala and Burna Boy. I actually sampled their flute. So they're like someone that I'm inspired by. So
They're wonderful.
Big them up, but East London's better though.
The West London, East London debate shall continue. But really, I mean, these guys are making us proud. Jaggy D, Steel Banglez, the wonderful Hrishi K, Jay Sean. Hrishi, of course, now spends more time in India than he's ever done before. So big ups, man, to India represent. Sid Sriram is not. I wouldn't imagine that you would collaborate with him. I mean, look at your career. Sidhu Moose Wala, God bless his soul. I can understand that Talwiinder collaboration and Ikka collaboration, all of which we'll talk about, and of course AP Dhillon. But I thought it was very interesting that you reached out to Sid.
I was introduced to Sid by a good friend of mine, and I went to his show. And he will post on his Instagram, this is not my Carnatic show, this is the English show. So I heard his English voice and I was like, I need to work with him. Like, sometimes voices just touch you, like that natural essence of music. Like some voices are just, I know it's out the box, but and then we got Nas as well, which is a big thing. But also I felt like it's good to pay homage to people of the Tamil Nadu community, I would
Tamil
say.
Community.
Yeah,
that's my community.
And
actually,
I grew up in East London. There's a place called East Ham.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, Rav, who's no longer with us, when I came across Sid, I wanted to pay respect to that community, not just Punjabi. So it's like already thinking bigger and doing things that people ain't doing. So
we are going to be playing it for you here on Radio 1. We're going to, you will hear it. But other than that, if you're streaming it, one thing you will notice, if you're a Tamil, and I am one, though I'm a Tamil who lives in Bombay, so I'm more a Pravasi. But the point I'm trying to make is it's beautiful because in the end, what Steel Banglez has done is he's actually kept a couple of Tamil, lines, which is more Carnatic music than anything else. So this whole track is in English. Nas comes in and does his thing, but in the end, is just Sid, and he decided to keep that. I thought it was very interesting. Talk to me about that.
That's something actually Sid wanted to do, in the sense of like, he wanted to keep his heritage, his culture, and like I was joining him, paying homage in that. So it's like I was like, bro, you want to do that? Do your thing. Even in the mixing, he's like, did you take it out in the mix? At the end of the final record, I was like, no, I kept it in for you, bro. That's what you wanted. So we're trying to just pay respect to every style of music.
I love that. I think that's fantastic because you know the richness of Hindustani classical music or Carnatic music or Punjabi Gurbani. It's just wonderful how spiritual it is more than anything else. And for you to have that in your music is just wonderful. So I'm so glad that you guys decided to keep it that way. Well, let's talk about the legend, man. I mean, I've had guys in the studio, guys like Vivian, which is our rapper Divine, who literally worshipped Nas. I remember that the first time that Vivian, which is Divine, had gone to the US to meet Nas, this is before Mass Appeal is going to launch here, he was on cloud nine. He came in saying, Hrishi, man, I've just met the god of hip-hop and rap. And Nas has that reputation, isn't it? I mean, it's a dream to work with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm forever grateful, very humble, and just inspired by everything he gave me. I'm inspired by everything he gave for that record, like, and everything that I grew up to in the UK. Like, it's very more like a divide where we're from.
Yeah.
So for me to work with Nas is like working with literally the greatest rapper of all time. So.
And I love the words that he's written for Times.
He's really connected with
the
song.
charlatans. I love the word the charlatans.
He didn't not make an F. Like, everything on his pen game was like lyrically correct on that record. So
yeah, and talk to me about the video. I mean, do you strongly ideate on what the video is going to be like? For this one, or would you just leave it to your music video director and say, man, you do your thing, if I don't like something, I'll tell you?
Yeah, I think we kind of like just dictate everything now. When we was starting out, we would kind of like let directors do their things, and like, but then I've seen the vision not turn into reality, so that we're always across the board of everything. But yeah, the video we wanted to just represent a hard time and overcoming it, whether you're a parent, whether you're in the gym in that video, whether you're playing a sport or you're struggling as your career as a barber that you see.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to represent hard times but overcoming them. So it was good. Big up Nathan Tetty, yeah.
Yeah, and overcome with love. I mean, I love the fact that there's a mother who's irritated with a child, and then somebody comes in. It could be a babysitter, it could be her sister who just comes in and spreads love and gives her a hug, man.
Yeah, and that's all you need sometimes.
That's what you need, man. Sorry, you were shouting out to somebody. You said Nathan.
Nathan Tetty was the director.
Is the director. Is this? Have you worked with him regularly?
Yeah, so we done the first song that we ever did was a song called No Words with Dave, which was the first video we directed together.
So Sid, interestingly, did a wonderful concert for us in Chennai. Because as a radio station, we also do events. It was packed house in Chennai. Not without its fair share of incidences, because it was supposed to be outdoors, and of all places in Chennai there was a torrential downpour. Normally it doesn't happen. Those are the drier parts of the country. Now we moved it indoors the next day. People still showed up. It was a full house, and man, the guy is insane live. I'd love to see Times being performed live on stage. Are you guys thinking of gigging? I don't know.
Yeah, like he's got his schedule, I've got mine. Hopefully we could Nas can join us as well. But yeah, I'd like to even do an acoustic version for the world to have.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a show.
Even if it's not a show.
It's just something that sits in that world. So yeah, hopefully we could do.
All right, let's talk about some of the other songs of the EP. Just to feed you guys in March of this year, 6 beautiful songs on an EP called One Day It Will All Make Sense by Steel Banglez. It's out on all streaming sites. Never Let You Go, which is the first track, is almost as good as Times for me personally, except that the Tamil bit beat him at the finishing line, so it's all it's personal. but it's wonderful. I mean, I believe that, again, AP is somebody you'd been wanting to work with for a while.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, you guys are similar. He's grown up in Canada. You've grown up in the UK. Or he moved to Canada. and you're both Punjabi boys. So talk about that connection.
Yeah, I caught onto AP early. There was a song that he did called Deadly, and I was like working heavy with Sidhu at the time, but then I saw the song Deadly, and I was like, this guy's gonna be a superstar. Like, this guy's voice, whatever he's doing is like a breath of fresh air. So yeah, I reached out to him, and we actually sat on Never Let You Go for maybe 5 years now. So I've had that song for 5 years, nearly 4 or 5
That's
years.
crazy, man.
2020, I'd say, yeah. So yeah, I always wanted to work with him. We spent time in London. I came out on his tour, and yeah, we made Never Let You Go. That record went through a lot of changes, but yeah, we were there, and we've got more records, like 4 or 5 more.
And you know, normally he works with Shinda Kahlo and Gurinder Gill. And you got to appreciate that, isn't it? I mean, the
I
stuff
think
that
that
those
vibe,
guys have gone together.
Yeah, that style and that era of AP, Shinda, GG was great, and yeah, hopefully it comes back soon.
Yeah, hopefully it comes back too soon. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Omah Lay. I mean, obviously somebody who's come through in the Afrobeat scene. Interesting choice of putting AP with Omah Lay. Talk about that. Yeah.
I feel like they're the new star boys of their own league, like in the sense of like what the genre defining moments have, and like Omar is the new gen of that, and I feel like this is just the start for him, and I feel like it's just the start for AP. So I wanted to put them on a track together, first of all because I knew they would harmonically match, and secondly just because they're the new guys, and I thought let's just try and see how it sounds, and it's amazing. So
And you know, Bangles, apart from the fact that India and Africa are both ancient civilizations, and you know, this in that aspect we've been around about the time planet Earth came by, the first people on the planet, as it were. Even in the modern era, I find that Nigerians and people from Ghana and Africa are very in tune with Indian Bollywood music. You know,
they grew up on it.
You go to Instagram and you go to TikTok. Of course, TikTok is not there in India anymore.
It's called Fuji. There's a style.
It's crazy,
a particular
no?
sound.
How they dance and things.
Yeah, I think it's Fuji, Nikita. Do you know about that sound? So basically, like, they grew up listening to all the Bollywood songs from young, just like we did in the UK. Yeah. And they're just inspired from it. So it's crazy.
Because, you know, we do an annual talent hunt. It's called the International Icon, Radio 1's International Icon. So we invited Kiddy, who's the Afropop sensation from Ghana, to judge for us. And he was like so at home in India, man. He was like, this is the music. This is so lovely.
It's very close to home.
Very close to home. And so in that aspect, Omah must have been familiar with a lot of our sounds.
100%, maybe more so old though, not the new generation.
Not the new generation. He probably grew up listening not to A.R. Rahman, but to Anu Malik.
Most probably, bro. Most probably.
Okay, let's go to another one, and this is Ikka, who's our very own Haryanvi rapper, who's suddenly gone international because Steel Banglez has made him do a bit of English and of course a lot of Hindi. And he's been paired up with Stefflon Don, whose body of work is just incredible. I would advise you guys to just go and Google Stefflon Don and you'd know what I'm talking about. It's a song called Only One. So talk to me about this and, you know, putting Ikka and Stefflon Don together. He's a wonderful boy, isn't he, Ikka?
Ikka's an amazing guy. I've known him when I started out in my career back in 2009, 2010, when I was just coming through. And he was writing a lot of songs, written many songs for people even back then. So I kind of just wanted to pay respect to him and have him, and just to see him do what he's doing today was like perfect. I was like, it was the right time. And then Steph, obviously being the best female artist I've personally worked with from the UK. Amazing. It was just them two together, and also Fred again on the beat as well. So yeah, it was a good moment for me, you know, to pay respect to Ikka, because he deserves it. Everything that he's getting, all his flowers right now, he deserves, and I hope he gets even bigger.
Well, before you rolled in, I was doing a bit of research and obviously doing essential listening to your entire EP and reading up on it, and there's a lot of famous names involved here, guys. All of you who are watching, listening. I believe the studio in London that you worked at for the AP Dhillon song is owned by Adele's producer.
Paul Etworth, that was Omah Lay. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So Omah Lay loves that studio.
Oh, so
Dave
Omah
works
said
there,
this one
Central
did.
C, Dave. A lot of people like that place. It's called Church End Studios. The church. Yeah, it's owned by Paul Etworth, yeah. So, yeah, he wanted to work in that room. There's something about the way the acoustics are. Like, artists are particular in what they like and what they don't. It's the weirdest things that intrigue them. So that studio particularly, yes, owned by Paul Etworth. Really Omah likes just because of the room. Yeah.
And I love Flowers. It's got Talwiinder and Fields. I don't know anything about Fields, so you got to tell me about Fields. And Talwiinder, of course, I find Talwiinder to be this really, there's a word in Hindi called Shanti, very Shanti kind of guy, you know, very calm kind of guy.
He's so cool, bro. Like,
I gotta love that about him, you know.
Yeah, like he's just like, he controls the whole energy wherever he steps into. And like even that session when we made Flowers, he came to my house and he was just like, no, next beat, next one, that one. And then he played, and then I played this song, and then he was like, yeah, done. And then he went in the booth and just did it. And Fields, obviously, big up Nikita, who introduced me to Fields. He's an amazing artist too. And melodically, I felt like they just merged. Great.
You know, I thought it's extraordinary that you would have the Idris Elba, the famous Hollywood actor, I think Oscar winner too.
Played Mandela, one of my favorite films.
Oh my God.
Prometheus.
What an actor.
Suicide Squad.
All these amazing series.
American Gangster, which is one of my best films as well. With them.
Idris Elba is on the title track of the EP, which is One Day It Will All Make Sense. And it's so beautiful that literally on the outro, Idris is talking. And I want you to talk about the philosophy of One Day It Will All Make Sense. How you got Idris Elba to come in on this, how it was just recording him, or did he, I don't know, send you an iPhone phone note?
Yeah, he did. I caught him at the right time. This project is like something that I wanted to express of like, whether anyone's listening or doing anything creative, I want you guys to just understand one day it will all make sense. So with Idris, it's like I got him at the right time, and a close friend of mine who works with me and Gov and Nikita on a day-to-day basis, V, is good friends with Idris, and I've always wanted to get his attention. So finally with this project and this record with Shea Universe, I think it hit him on set, and he just sent a voice note trying to explain that even for him it would make one because he's had a struggle to become what he is today. So that's what he's kind of like fathering me on the outro.
If you had to pick a Bollywood star to do that, who would you pick?
I wanted someone on that song, by the way. Most probably Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah, he's got a lovely baritone.
He's like, and do you know who's actually one of my favorite actors of all time? Nana Patekar.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I've heard
he's like one of my favorite actors of all time.
It's crazy because I've had so many boys from the UK come in here and they'll say Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan, and they'll say the usual suspects.
No, Nana Patekar is phenomenal.
He's phenomenal because of his choice of roles.
Yeah, his acting style. He's like Idris to me.
Yeah.
So them two would be cool. In the back of a taxi,
cool.
you know.
In the back of a taxi.
I'm the driver.
and it's a British Nigerian friend of yours who's also on the track. I'd like you to talk about her.
Shea Universe, amazing man. She's an emerging talent, and R&B is growing in the UK. And I came across one of her records called Passenger Princess, which I really love. And yeah, I just reached out to her and I was like, yo, there's something about your voice that's really soulful and really like captivating, and I'd love for you to do something on the EP. This is the EP. And then we wrote One Day It'll All Make Sense and sent it straight to Idris, and it kind of made sense to him, so he sent it straight back with his. So yeah, Shea Universe, amazing star, big things coming for her.
And the one track we haven't talked about is Mohobbat, which just simply means love. What else? Talk about how you got that one together, and I love that these duets have so much African influence. So talk about that as far as Mohobbat is concerned.
Yeah, big up Loj J, big up Afsana Khan. I mean, Afsana's a good friend of Sidhu's, and before he passed, he told me that could you work with her? So like I'm paying respect again on that collaboration, and also with Loj, and yeah, them two just merging and making a great record like Mohabbat is like just a nice collab.
And one day it will all make sense. Lovely. I cannot not ask you about Sidhu. A lot of his friends or people who are collaborators like yourself say they can still feel him around, and what a wonderful soul that he was, and so unfortunate that he went the way that he went, you know. You don't want that for Punjabi pop, you know, the stuff that hip hop and the rap world went through in the US at one point in time.
It still happens.
It still happens. It's still today.
Even in the UK.
Yeah, even in the UK. So
Yeah.
talk to us about Sidhu. I mean, the Sidhu you knew as a friend and as an artist. So let's start with the human, the friend, and then go into the artist.
The friend came from Snapchat. He was playing one of my songs back in 2018, and he tagged me, and I was like, oh, okay, so you know about my music, I'm gonna come to Toronto, and then we just made 47, so that was my friend version, and then we kind of developed and went into Moose Tape, went into all these collaborations with so many big UK artists like Steph, like Tion Wayne, and yeah, he's an amazing writer, amazing guy, and yeah, I don't think he will ever be replaced, ever. And if anything that's happened in Punjabi music, any sort of bar that's been set is because of him.
And despite traveling and this and that, he was a boy from the Pind, wasn't he? I mean, his heart was always rural, you know? Which is
We all like that. He was just a very flamboyant about it. Like, let's always never forget where we're from. Let's respect the hood, basically. It's kind of like what you would call it. Like, even though I travel the world and I go everywhere, I'm always going to be a Forest Gate boy, which is in East London. Like today I got AK with me since I was 4 years old. He's one of my best friends. So Forest Gate is always with me. So with Sidhu, it's the same thing. Musa and Mansa was always in his blood. So it's nice to represent, and that's part of hip hop. Like when Nas talks about QB, Queensbridge, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So he was like a monster boy. So yeah.
That's wonderful. You always got to keep your childhood friends with you, man. They level you, you know, no matter how famous and big you become.
Yeah.
So any wish list thing now that you worked with Nas, man? I mean, who else would you love to work with in your heart?
The people that I would love to work with are not here anymore.
Oh, geez.
Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Amy Winehouse, Nipsey Hussle, people that are not here. Everyone else is easily accessible right now.
That's the story, Morning Glory. If he can get Idris, he can get anybody in. I'm gonna wait for the next.
Oh no, Nas is the first one. Then
Very
Idris.
nice.
Sorry, Idris.
Yeah, and I think a nice way to sign off would be to talk about your childhood, man. I mean, Jay, for example, is talking about how he went to medical school in the UK, and then he wanted to quit everything and take up music, and he was lucky to have a mom and dad who said, okay, doesn't matter, go ahead and do it. Not all of us are that lucky. Did you have opposition from your family in the UK when you said, I want to be a music producer? I don't know.
Yeah, I think at the time it was such an early industry to get into that it didn't even make any sense to anyone. Like, why would you go and become a music producer? Or you should go and pursue like a trade or something.
Did you try that for a while, for a bit?
No. I was in the streets, bro. I ended up in jail actually when I was 17 to 21. Yeah, I ended
Was
up.
that for assault or I don't know?
No, it's for firearms.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'm just being honest because you asked me. So I grew up there. AK knows.
Yeah,
how
I did read somewhere that there was something that you put out when you were in jail. So I figured that, you know, you must have been.
So
a
even
boy
then
in the
I
hood.
felt like a failure. So like when I came out, I didn't want to get in a trade. I wanted to just give back to my mum, who's actually a musician. So I wanted to pursue that.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
What did she sing? Did she sing ghazals, film? I don't know.
Yeah, she used to do a lot of like Hindi, old school Lata Mangeshkar type songs.
Wow.
Yeah, she's actually got an amazing voice. Like big her up. I wish I had her voice. Then I might be the biggest Indian star today, but I'm not. So yeah, no. So I pursued music for her, and so she never gave me no backlash. So yeah, only my dad was kind of like sometimes. Now he just everywhere he goes, do you know my son Steel
Oh,
Banglez?
how sweet.
Yeah. Now it's all of that. But before it was like Jutiya. Cricket bats and you know, brooms and stuff.
Brooms and stuff.
Yeah. I used to get it all.
all.
But yeah, pursued the career in music wasn't hard. My whole family was musical, so it was something that I wanted to give back to them. So yeah, no difficulty, no doctor difficulty or accountant. Or, yeah, I was all right. Yeah, it was cool.
And doing this with Mass Appeal. I mean, big ups to Mass Appeal.
Yeah. Big up Peter and Bender. Big up Mass Appeal. Amazing label. Amazing thing. Ahead of their time. First saw the vision in India, and I'm so truly grateful for them believing in me. You know.
Lovely. All right, you guys. That's it. Steel Banglez, the interview. Tell your friends about it. We're going to be on YouTube and of course on 94.3 on the FM band, on radio, Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, and Chennai. The EP is out. The song is out. Times is fantastic. It's got Sid Sriram. It's called Nas, the legend. And go and check out all his EPs, his albums. It's out there on streaming sites. And enjoy. One day it will all make sense. Of which Times and other songs that are part of. Wonderful African artists along with Indian artists. Banglez, thank you, man.
Thank you,
Cheers.
man. Thank you for having me,
Cheers.
bro.
94.3 Radio 1.